in the Polish countryside. A decades-old legend of Nazi riches.
They put all of this treasure on this train track to try to hide all of the loot.
A monster trove of Third Reich plunder, rumored to be buried deep inside a remote mountain fortress.
You wonder why they built this bunker in here when everything else is this tunnel.
Now, our advanced scanning technologies are uncovering staggering new leads.
This is a new tunnel that nobody's ever explored before.
Are we on the verge of bringing billions in Nazi loot back to light?
It just keeps going.
Buried deep below the Earth's surface, there are countless unsolved mysteries. And today, we finally have the tools to unlock them.
That's amazing.
It's super deep.
I'm Rob Nelson, a scientist and explorer investigating our planet's hidden depths.
Rob, getting deeper.
Holy moly, Stefan.
And helping me uncover these subterranean secrets is tech specialist Stefan Burns.
Oh my God, look at that.
Together,
I got something!
we are uncovering new leads in our quest to solve Earth's most enduring mysteries.
There we go. Woo!
These are the secrets of the underground. Southwestern Poland, part of Germany during the Second World War. Stefan and I are here to investigate one of the greatest Nazi legends of all time.
It's a neat little square, huh?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's said that buried in the mountains outside this town lies a colossal cache of treasure, hidden by the retreating Third Reich just months before the fall of Berlin.
The way the legend goes is that late at night when nobody could see, they put all of this treasure, artwork, gold, bullion, worth millions of dollars, essentially on this train track to try to hide all of the loot.
It's a tantalizing tale. As Russian troops closed in, a German official named Herbert Klose was tasked with safeguarding the region's riches. He gathered up money from banks, jewelry and gold from locals, and possibly even priceless works of art stolen by the Nazis from around the continent. The treasure was sealed in iron chests, and from the city of Wrocław, it's said it was transported southwest on the main rail line into the nearby Owl Mountains, where many believe it disappeared into a sprawling underground bunker system called Project Risa. Stefan and I are headed to that very complex,
This is it.
All right.
where we plan to search for new clues using powerful high-tech tools never before deployed here.
I think it'll be really cool to get boots on the ground and then run some geophysical tech and see what we can find.
That's why I brought you along, Stefan, because you got all the tech.
In the waning months of the war, Allied forces did just that. They intercepted a 24-car freight train traveling from Hungary to Germany. Loaded with plundered gold, jewelry, and paintings, valued in the billions in today's dollars.
It's not that this treasure is hidden and we never find it.
Yeah.
We could very easily come across some clues here that lead to the golden train.
All right.
The first stop on our quest, the headquarters of Project Risa, Książ's Castle.
Wow, look at that.
This centuries-old castle, now a museum, was to be a Third Reich command center in the later years of the war. And we're here to explore claims that it was the Nazi gold train's final destination. Inside, we meet up with Bogdan Ruzicki, a Książ's historian.
Is it true that this was supposed to be Hitler's residence?
Yes, it was supposed to be a residence for important officers, as well as private apartments for Hitler.
Wow.
This was supposed to be Hitler's bedroom, and right next to the bedroom, there were meant to be other rooms for the apartments.
But according to Bogdan, the Führer had more sinister plans than to furnish a gaudy country retreat. When the Nazis seized the castle, SS officers were ordered to seal off the structure and keep passers-by from coming too close. Soon after, the castle servants began hearing explosions coming from deep beneath the building. It turned out the Third Reich was constructing an elaborate system of tunnels. Most historians assume the passages were intended as a fallout shelter or escape route for the Nazi elite. But no one knows for sure why they were built.
Is there a way from here down into the tunnel systems?
Yes, there is.
Bogdan tells us that the Nazis installed elevators in the castle, connecting the private residences to the tunnels 165 feet below the surface.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, this was one of the shafts.
Yes.
This is one of the elevators, which was built in the castle during World War II for the officers to use.
Wow.
Far below, the tunnels are much bigger than I imagined.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, look at that. Wow. This is impressive. Heavily reinforced. Oh my goodness. This is huge. Whoa. Look at those chambers.
Yeah.
No idea what those would have been for.
Some have speculated the tunnels connected to 6 other Project Risa systems that dot the countryside, forming a massive bunker or underground city for the Nazi elite. Or could it have been designed as a covert access point for Hitler, a private train station like those found at some of his other regional headquarters? So far, no one has found a tunnel extending outward from the castle for either purpose. But there's circumstantial evidence that such a tunnel may have existed, fueling the claims that the stash of Nazi gold, jewelry, and artwork could have ended up here.
It's this place right here.
Bogdan tells us that prisoners who worked on these tunnels reported seeing a large chamber off to the side here, behind what is now a concrete wall.
Behind this wall, there's something back here?
It's not confirmed. There was drilling done 5 feet into the wall, and it's just concrete and rock.
Could there be a tunnel back there? One that could connect the castle to other parts of Project Risa?
Have you ever scanned this with any type of technology? I mean, you only drilled 2 meters here. Have you ever used something that can see deeper into the wall?
Those kind of tests were done.
But the scanning technology used was less powerful than the device we have with us today. Stefan and I are eager to look at the area ourselves. For this scan, we are using a cutting-edge, ground-penetrating radar unit. The device, called GPR for short, works by firing radio waves into the ground or into walls. Tunnels or chambers will bounce these waves back to a sensor mounted on the machine, and our device will peer deeper into this wall than ever attempted before.
The reason why we have such a big unit here is because it's 160 megahertz, and that'll give us really good depth penetration. It's not typically meant to be used on walls, so it's gonna be pretty awkward.
Stefan, you're not gonna like this, but my shoulder's acting up right now, and I think you're gonna have to hold it up against the wall.
Once we sort out who's going to do the heavy lifting,
I'll tell you when to hit start.
Stefan hoists the device into place.
All right, here we go.
Hit new?
Yep, it's going.
Could there really be something hidden behind this rough-hewn wall, deep beneath Sean's castle? Our scan holds a shocking breakthrough in the case.
We just started to hit the edge of a large anomaly.
Has our tech revealed proof of the long-lost chamber beneath the castle?
We need to investigate this more.
And later, an advanced 3D scanning tool reveals a mysterious network of Third Reich tunnels in an entirely new way. Will the modern treasure map we create finally turn up the legendary Nazi plunder?
Wow.
Stefan and I are in Poland, searching for a cache of stolen Nazi gold, jewelry, and artwork that disappeared in the final months of World War II. And right now, we're down in the tunnels below Sean's castle, scanning a wall that may be hiding an opening of some sort.
Hold it steady.
Finding a chamber or tunnel, as reported by the castle laborers, would be an incredible find, indicating a possible railway passage that could house the fabled gold train, or an entrance intended for the Führer himself.
All right, let's do 2 more profiles, one higher, and then the last one at the top.
Amazingly, historical evidence exists for the possibility of such an entrance. Hitler often traveled to his regional headquarters aboard a specially appointed train. Comprised of over a dozen cars, it contained a mobile communications center and armored flakwagens fitted with anti-aircraft guns. Bunkers, such as the Wolfschlicht II, were built surrounding train tunnels to provide the Führer direct access.
Okay, here we go. New.
There we go. One more profile. All right, you ready?
Go for it.
Great.
Okay, number 3, done. We have some preliminary data, Stefan.
So it looks like we're seeing 30 feet in, if not a little bit more. I don't think anyone has looked this far yet.
What do you think of that?
I'm not seeing anything obvious in that data.
The preliminary scan is inconclusive, so Stefan wants to create a 3D composite that will map more clearly what lies behind the wall. So we head back to town where we can create the model. Back at our hotel, Stefan has finished the render and has made a substantial find.
This right here is really significant. So I don't know about you, but look how perfectly square this is.
The scan indicates the presence of a large chamber that opens up 8 feet into the wall, continuing for another 30 feet, or deeper.
Wow. Could this be anything other than an air gap?
We can't, definitively say it's a tunnel, but it's just so consistent. It all strikes me a little strange.
Stefan's model suggests it's an empty tunnel, so it's unlikely we're looking at a loot-laden train. But our finding is a tantalizing piece of evidence pointing at the long-rumored possibility of a rail entrance to the castle and a connection to the other sections of the massive Riesa complex. It's a possibility Stefan and I want to explore further.
Polish countryside is really beautiful in a rustic sense.
It is.
So we're heading to the so-called Włodarz tunnels, part of the sprawling Riesa complex, a Nazi mega project in the Owl Mountains with a still unknown purpose.
I like.
Here, we'll search for new tunnels that could connect to the castle and house the infamous gold train. We've arranged to meet up with a local treasure hunter named Krzysztof Spakowski. A retired businessman, Krzysztof leased the Włodarz tunnels, the largest part of the Riesa complex. And for the past several years, he and his crew have been excavating the passageways below.
So tell me a little bit about the tunnels here, the Riesa tunnels.
These tunnels, which we'll go down to, they're 2.5 miles in length. But I think those that we can get to are only about 5% of what was built.
Krzysztof says that his team has found a variety of artifacts inside the tunnels, including Nazi weapons and old mining supplies.
Do we know what the Germans were going to do with these tunnels?
Well, there are different theories. I'm convinced that it was meant to be an atomic shelter in case of attack.
Some believe the complex was to serve as a Nazi headquarters. Others think it was intended to be an underground weapons factory. Whatever its purpose, it's likely a rail line would have connected to a complex of this scale and importance, which is why many believe it would have been the most logical hiding spot for the Nazi loot.
What do you think the probability is that there is a golden train in the tunnel here, somewhere in this complex?
I personally am convinced that in this particular complex, there's going to be not one train, but tens of trains.
If there was hidden treasure, it would probably be here in this tunnel complex.
Maybe you've already found it. You haven't told anybody.
Sweet. Holy moly.
Krzysztof's crew is going to help us enter the tunnels through this ventilation shaft, which appears to be quite deep.
I am very excited to go down, but I think probably the wisest thing is if you go first. Don't you think? Just so that I'm up here for safety.
Yeah,
and
send
just to
a
send
test
you-
dummy down.
Deep, deep.
We're all good? You don't need a harness or anything?
Hey, just hold it. It's fine.
What if you let go? What happens?
It's Poland. It's totally fine.
Aren't you supposed to be harnessed up for that or no?
I'm ready, closer.
I think you're nervous, Stefan.
This would have been incredibly difficult to bore through.
Do you see any bats?
It's just raining now.
No bats? I don't really care. I was just wondering. Coming down!
All right.
Holy moly, this is bigger than I expected. I can only imagine digging this tunnel in the 40s.
As I descend, it's hard not to think about the people who built this system. Mainly prisoners from the nearby Gross Rosen concentration camp. It was grueling work, blasting and carting away the hard rock that makes up this mountain. By the time the construction was halted, an estimated 5,000 people had been killed.
Look at this. I have no idea what this is. What do you think it is?
Especially this. This is a weird piece here. It's unusual.
There's no sign of train tracks in this section of the system, but some of the passages certainly seem large enough to house a locomotive.
It's pretty wet in here, huh?
Get ready to sink in about a foot.
Oh my God, it's muddy. This is not what I expected it to look like. No. But I bet if there's any gold to be found on a train, it would be in one of these tunnels. Really, to figure out how it all connects, we're gonna need to map it a little more precisely.
Yeah, I think having a map, that'll let us see some patterns possibly as to maybe what they hid.
Or if it wasn't something they hid, what is still hidden to us.
Yes.
Stefan has brought along a LiDAR device to scan the system. LiDAR stands for Light Detection and Ranging. A device sends out laser pulses and uses return time measurements to create three-dimensional renderings that can be analyzed with precision. Today, we have a handheld system, which will allow us to move easily through the tunnels.
This is incredible. This technology used to be huge. It was only able to be used on a plane or ships, and now we can just, walk around with it.
The device is not designed to see into walls like our GPR unit. Rather, it creates a high-resolution 3D map that will allow us to scan the tunnels for suspicious features, like cave-ins that could indicate the Nazis have concealed an entrance or passageway.
Essentially, we're looking for irregularities, right? Anything that may have been covered up. Lasers turning on in 3, 2, 1.
Oh man, muddy.
Will this cutting-edge device finally turn up the legendary Nazi treasure?
Wow.
That's pretty
Incredible.
Or reveal the purpose of this mysterious bunker?
Is that a second level?
There's a whole level that we may be missing.
I'm in Poland, in what used to be the heart of Nazi territory,
Sweet.
in search for a legendary train full of gold and Third Reich riches.
Holy moly.
We're conducting a high-tech scan in hopes of finding suspicious features that could point us towards the infamous plunder, or help us understand what sinister plans the Nazis had for this mysterious tunnel complex. Stefan and I take turns collecting measurements with the handheld device. We'll later generate the final 3D images and map. When we reach some of the system's flooded sections, we board a rickety boat that our contact has hauled in so that we can access the otherwise unreachable portions.
Wow.
This is huge. I'll light up objects so we don't hit our heads on them.
The Nazis were highly secretive about what purpose Project Risa was to serve. When construction began, the Third Reich deployed 4,000 SS officers to guard the area, ordering them to shoot any trespassers on sight.
Whoa! Look at that.
Crazy. Wow.
I could very easily see this place as the bunker system. This is creepy. Oh, careful there.
Though it's highly doubtful the project was built specifically to store Nazi gold reserves or plundered riches, many believe it would have been the most logical place in the region for the retreating Germans to have hid their loot. It's an idea that has a compelling historical basis. In early April 1945, just weeks before the fall of Berlin, General Patton's Third Army stormed the village of Merkers in the heart of Nazi Germany. There, they heard rumors of a salt mine in the town where Nazis had hidden millions in bank reserves and stolen treasure in a last-ditch effort to protect their riches from Allied hands. On April 8, 1945, Americans broke into the mine to find 8,000 bars of gold, 3,000 bags of gold coins, and dozens of priceless works of art. All of it was removed from a subterranean lair, not unlike the one Stefan and I are navigating right now. Maybe somewhere in this vastness lies a clue about this region's infamous trove of treasure.
All right, let's get going.
It's time for us to build our high-tech treasure map of this long-lost tunnel system.
All right, check this out. Moment of truth here. Let's see what this tunnel looks like, huh?
From the scanning we did, sophisticated algorithms use millions of data points to build a high-res model. Could there be sealed-off tunnels hiding behind these walls? And are they big enough to house a trainload of gold?
There it is.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so you can see where we entered right there. And then, look at this.
Is that a second level?
Whoa. There's a whole level that we may be missing.
Yeah, we definitely get a second layer there, stacked right on top. It's all very organized.
Our model is opening up a breathtaking new way of exploring the mysterious Risa complex. Tunnels run lengthwise for over a mile and are crisscrossed by intersecting side passages, all creating what we can now see is a very orderly grid pattern. But most fascinating of all, our model reveals hints of a second level, stacked above at least one of the tunnels we scanned.
I mean, this could be a huge tunnel system, and we're only seeing a piece of it.
Yeah.
We definitely need to probe the area right above us further.
Okay, so I think, Stefan, the next plan is that we need to go up above and start scanning the ground here.
Back in the light of day, we go to the spot right above where we started to see that second level. Could a fortune of gold be lurking just beneath our feet? To help us find out, Stefan's arranged to meet up with a geophysical team from Warsaw. They've brought all the gear he needs to run some additional tests.
We could set the survey up along this roadway here.
150 meters.
Perfect, yes.
Stefan begins by laying seismic sensors down on a straight line that crosses above the area where we saw that second level. For this first scan, we'll take turns driving pulses of energy into the ground using a sledgehammer and a metal plate.
Ready?
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
These pulses travel at different speeds depending on the type of material they're passing through, revealing a rough picture of any tunnels or chambers that lie beneath.
Let's move it over there.
While we hammer away, Stefan's also set up another tool called electrical resistivity tomography. Known as ERT for short, this tech works by injecting electrical current into the ground through pairs of electrodes. Additional electrodes then measure how easily that current can flow through whatever lies below, hopefully confirming the presence of any tunnels that show up on our sledgehammer test. If there is a 100-foot train beneath us, there's no hiding from our scans.
Getting you ready for the gulag.
Will our hard work amount to anything? After about an hour, we can finally find out.
Did you get the data?
Yes, we have the results.
Let's see it.
Show you. That's here.
Whoa, this is a new tunnel.
Stefan and I are in Poland, searching for a legendary stash of Nazi plunder. We're reviewing the results from a ground-probing electrical scan we conducted directly above the Project Riza complex. And we've made a startling find.
Whoa!
Our scan seems to indicate the presence of 3 tunnels.
A lot of colors there.
So this is 10 meters down, not even 5 meters down, there's another hole.
Yes.
And there's another one here.
And they're all the same, depth too. All about the same width. So this is
cool.
looking really good.
The sledgehammer test we ran should confirm these possible new tunnels. And it does.
We have essentially 3 anomalies again. And that lines up exactly with the ERT.
It's like a foot off. Yeah. This is incredible.
I don't even know what to say. It's, this is a new tunnel that nobody's ever explored before.
The network carved into the mountain is growing. Far from one single layer, the tunnels here seem to be stacked, one on top of another, and not just in one stretch.
I am blown away. I knew that because of the network that there may be upper layers, but finding 3 of them side by side, there could be even more. If we kept scanning that entire road, we might find the rest of the
hillside.
The discovery of these new layers is an exciting lead in our quest to figure out the purpose of this mysterious complex. The stacked levels could be a clue that the complex was intended to be a weapons or aircraft factory. While constructing other underground manufacturing facilities, Nazi engineers found they could hollow out large chambers by tunneling several layers on top of one another and blowing up the rock barrier in between. The resulting caverns were sizable enough to build and store large weapons out of reach from Allied bombing raids. Beyond simply hinting at the purpose of this mysterious complex, our discovery of possible new tunnels makes the long-rumored connection from here to Champs Castle seem more plausible. But the uniform shape of the cavities on the scan imply the tunnels are not filled with Nazi loot, so we need to consider other options that could explain where the train could have ended up. Stefan and I make our way back to the town of Wałbrzych to meet with local journalist Krzysztof Szyzanowski, who we've heard is developing a new theory that could point to the missing Project Riza connection and to the location of the gold train.
Stefan and I, trying to just understand what's going on with the train, the tunnels, maybe the connection to the Shah's castle. And
Okay.
what I find interesting is you have a different theory than everybody else has had so far. Is that right?
That is correct. There were accounts given by witnesses that showed that this train may be located somewhere else. Also, in this region, everything started in 1972.
That year, Polish TV broadcast a documentary about the search for some of the missing valuables. Afterwards, letters came pouring in about these long-lost artifacts.
One of them was very interesting. I brought this letter, which was sent to the TV studio from a guy from Germany. He said that in April 1945, there was a train standing on the side rails between the city of Lubiecho.
That's a spot between the Wodarz tunnels and Champs Castle.
He said that the train had many carriages loaded with stuff. He suggested that this might have been hidden somewhere in the Castle Książ. And this started a theory that, first of all, there must have been some side rails nearby, and secondly, is it possible that there was a tunnel leading from the side rails to the castle?
It's an exciting new theory that a side rail connected the main rail line, where the train is rumored to have been last spotted, to Champs Castle. Again, the castle seems to be taking center stage, but Krzysztof and his colleagues knew they needed more than one eyewitness account to support this new theory. So they started looking for any documents that could prove, first and foremost, that there was a branch off the main rail line in the area.
And we found it.
Really?
Krzysztof shows us a map from the 1930s.
Here, we can see the side rails leading towards the castle.
Oh my gosh.
In his research, Krzysztof also came across a remarkable aerial photograph taken by the Nazis in 1945 of the same area featured in the map.
And here, we see the same spot as here. Definitely there is some kind of construction here.
Wow. So it looks like the construction on both sides, on the east side
Yes,
and on the west side.
that is correct.
Wow.
Could the Nazis have been at work on some sort of track or tunnel leading to Shaw's? And could its connection to the main rail line mean the infamous Nazi treasure could have been shuttled through this corridor to the castle?
But the most surprising thing was that at the end of this track, there is kind of old platform, which is still visible.
So you found a platform right here.
Yes,
A platform seems to be very real and solid evidence that there was a side rail line in that spot.
Is it possible for you to take us to that platform?
sure, it's not far away. We can do it.
Fantastic.
Are we on to a major break in the decades-old case of the mythical gold train? I'm in Wałbrzych, Poland, along with tech expert Stefan Burns, trying to get to the bottom of the legend of the Nazi gold train. Local journalist Krzysztof Szynowski thinks he has a lead for us, an old rail branch and platform near the 40-mile mark on the main rail line. A spot where an eyewitness said he saw a train laden with boxes at the end of the war.
Where did the track veer off on this side of the track?
If you remember the map which I showed you earlier, this is the place where it was possible to split off the rails. And we are right in this split rail, this sideline. What you can see here is the concrete construction for the track of the sideline.
Oh, cool.
That's the beginning of this place.
Wait, so this would be the edge of the track?
That is right. Książ Castle is about 2,000 meters in a straight line from this point.
As we walk towards the platform, Krzysztof points out drainage wells
Here's another well.
that he believes ran alongside the old rail line.
This is the platform right here?
Yes, here and here, behind me.
This is the edge?
Yes.
Yeah, you can even see these like these rusted anchors or supports
That's
or
right.
something. It wasn't just concrete that was put down.
It's almost 200 meters.
This is a promising site for further testing, but not right now. A thunderstorm is rolling in.
You know, it's obviously pouring right now, and I'm concerned that we're not going to get good readings in the rain.
And I definitely cannot send up the drone in this weather. I think we're done for the day. We're
Yeah.
gonna have to come back.
First thing the next morning, we get to work identifying the best spot to search for a covered-up tunnel or rail passage.
There we go.
I want to get my own aerial view of the site and see if I can't pick out any clues from high above.
Whoa,
great.
we're very close to those power lines.
Yeah.
Well, you can definitely see the platform, huh? Right there?
Yeah.
Let's go up. And actually, it looks like the old tracks are following the road right now. He said that these tracks led towards Shaw's. Let's just kind of back up and look at it and see where it's heading. Oh, look, that's the castle. That's cool.
There does seem to be a visible pathway from the platform towards the castle. Today, trees mark some of the line.
Well, it is hard to see down here on the ground, the elevation, but we're right here, and there's the castle, and look how it like basically right here, the mountains start. So you could dig into the ground not too far up there and then essentially access the tunnel system underneath the castle.
Yeah. And then also this location, if you were to split off from that main train track line, you know, right here to the castle is the shortest distance. And those finished tunnels are definitely big enough to hold a train. There are a lot of factors that make this a good spot to look.
Yeah, let me land this drone and then we can get started. Yeah.
There we go.
Stefan thinks that ERT and electromagnetic testing will give us the best shot at finding any evidence of an old rail line or a tunnel. ERT can detect tunnels deep in the ground. We used the same method earlier at RISA. Not far from the end of the platform, we lay out an 80-yard line.
Keep going until you get to 72.
With electrodes approximately every yard. We'll also use a magnetometer to identify any buried metal objects that contain iron, like rail ties or a train car. It works by measuring very small variations in the Earth's magnetic field. A disturbance in the readings could mean there's something below.
So this magnetometer will, help us find metals and also help us find, infrastructure. So maybe reinforced concrete, things that you would need to build a tunnel, let's say.
But you couldn't take this over gold, could you? Like if there was a big gold bar, would this detect it?
You use slightly different equipment for that.
But before we can get started taking measurements, there's a surprise interruption. A woman who lives nearby tells a member of our crew that she has some information for us. So we've stopped what we're doing to meet her. She tells us she's lived here since the 1950s, and that when she was a little girl, there was a small hill with an entrance and stairs leading down.
Right here.
When we were kids, we found steps going down, 5 of them.
Steps going down, down.
5 steps down, all in concrete, all under construction.
And where did it go?
5 steps down and then nothing more.
So steps down and then nothing.
Nothing.
Do you think it filled in a tunnel?
Stefan and I are hot on the trail of the Nazi gold train in Poland. We've just learned from a local resident that there used to be some sort of hill here and steps leading down. We're wondering if this could be evidence of a long-lost tunnel that could have served as a possible escape route for the Nazi gold train.
Do you think it filled in a tunnel?
We don't know. We never checked it.
She also tells us there's a gorge in the woods, one that was quite deep when she was a young girl. Could this also indicate the start of a tunnel?
It was a deep gorge, and then it rapidly ended.
They wouldn't just drop a train in like this, They would go ahead, slowly ramp it down, and the whole gorge thing makes perfect sense. And then all of a sudden, boom, there's your tunnel.
Wow, this changes everything completely, doesn't it?
We head into the woods to see if we can find any remnants of the gorge.
I mean, here's the gorge right here. And it looks like it's going up in elevation, so,
Yeah.
In theory,
Yeah, right here.
there could easily be a tunnel big enough for a train right underneath us.
As we make our way back out to the road, we spot additional drainage wells, just like the ones that Christoph believes ran along the side rail line. It seems like further evidence of some sort of large-scale construction here.
I can't see the end. It just keeps going.
Because of the suspicious features, we decide to extend our testing to this area as well.
Let's go to the beginning of the line and let's collect this. I'm really excited to see how this data matches up. There's definitely enough evidence to show that there's something here. If anything's going to see it, it's going to be resistivity and this magnetometer. Into the forest.
We repeat the testing in the area the woman pointed out to us, which is closer to the castle. We then pack up the equipment and head back to our hotel. From what we've seen on the ground, it appears there may have been a side rail line, possibly leading to a tunnel into Sean's castle. Stefan pulls up the ERT data collected by the main rail line just shy of the 40-mile mark.
Whoa, look at that, right there.
It's a huge anomaly.
Stefan spotted something beneath the ground that's about 50 feet long and 15 feet high.
Is that an air gap under there?
So this is unusual. We might see that feature if there was perhaps a tunnel filled with water.
This is where the lady said there might be a passage, right?
That's right around that area.
It could also be somewhere where they put a bunch of metal.
Yeah, that's what it would look like. I mean,
I feel a little bit weird going here, but like maybe a giant train filled with gold.
we need to investigate this more, for sure.
I mean, this is a huge discovery.
But will the magnetometer back up the ERT findings?
So you look here, you see these natural fluctuations in the Earth's magnetic field over the course of the survey. But then look at here how it just completely amplifies, flat lines at a very high signal, and then it goes back to its normal pattern.
The increase in signal indicates the object is highly magnetic.
And this matches up with the anomaly that we saw from the ERT.
Yeah, it's right in the middle. This could be, a train, a large pile of metal. I don't know how to explain it. It's very bizarre.
Well, this is incredible.
It's a pretty astounding find. What could be a large metal object right near the spot where the side rail began. It's tantalizing to consider what exactly this metal structure could be, and to imagine that these blips on a graph could be showing us the final resting spot of the legendary Nazi gold train. At the very least, it's compelling evidence towards our new theory that a side rail line really did connect to the castle, giving a direct path for a train bearing loot to disappear somewhere between here and Champs.
It is very bizarre, and I don't know if we can definitely say what we're seeing here. But the one thing that is for sure is it keeps this mystery of the gold train alive.
Yeah, without a doubt.
With our cutting-edge tech, we've made enormous progress in our search. We've established evidence of a long-rumored chamber at Champs, one that could have been designed as a private train entrance for Hitler. We've discovered possible new tunnels stacked beneath the Risa complex, tunnels that could explain the site's purpose as a monstrous underground weapons factory, and found clues pointing to a connection between the two sites, what seems to be a long-buried side rail line or tunnel with an enormous, unidentified metal object within. Next, we'll begin the process of filing permits with the Polish government to excavate at the site of this metal object. It's a lengthy process, but worth a try. One thing is for sure, with the new evidence we've uncovered, and with so much of the Owl Mountains still unexplored, the legend of the Nazi gold train lives on.